Good morning, and this is Toronan, and very happy to see you this morning. Today we're going to take a look at the Tier 1. Let's make sure I get this right. It's embarrassing to tell you the wrong type and then have to the Type 91 Japanese starter aircraft. I am bringing this aircraft in because it is the one type in the uh, Japanese fighter line that I have missed, and I'm looking to correct it. This is a typical parasol winged uh, twin machine gun fighter, and it's where you start off with. Comes complete usually with a 1 point captain when you start the game, and I've hung a pair of bombs on this and upgraded the aircraft. It now has the upgraded airframe, the bombs, and the upgraded 7.7. Has a pair of those, I believe. Yeah, and then it's done both engine upgrades. A couple things about this aircraft. We'll go ahead and move it into battle. Is that it's a parasol wing, which means that the wing sits above the pilot. Also, that it is one of the aircraft. It's very typical of its time. There was towards the end of the war, there was an Eindecker that was moving into production uh, with the Germans. That was very that once he got the wing strengthened, was very successful. What do we have to say about the Eindecker? Is perhaps the well, not surprisingly, like the entire Japanese line has proven so far, very, very maneuverable. I find it the most terrifying Tier 1 fighter out there, capable of taking on any number of opponents because of its nimbleness and because the opposition isn't much faster than it is. Um, we'll have to see if we have any sort of success with it today. Perhaps we will. Um, Again, with most Japanese planes, the deal here is to get on their tail, stick on it, and that's fairly easy to do with Japanese fighters. Alright, so we're going to have a total of 4 capture points here. Fighter airfields on the right and left, and the center position.
Pilots, get ready for action. Let's go.
As you can see, the boost here is about 5 seconds and not really all that effective even when it is on, and not a lot of fun. Uh, One of the shortcomings on the Type 96 was that it was very slow. Speedster, it is not very effective once it gets there. Again, it's going to be somewhat more fragile, though in this particular case, it's not a whole lot more fragile than its opposition. That trend tends to get more pronounced as you get further and further up the lines. The later types I've already shown videos on. You're welcome to look those up and see what you think. We're now approaching, and we do have a pair of bombs, and we're going to try to make use of those. I hope I didn't drop those too late. Up, and we were under fire, but it is AA fire. Okay, good enough. Silly me. Now you'll notice, very easy to get on target with these aircraft. Very easy uh, to kill with this aircraft, and very easy to avoid your opposition by simply turning into them, locking onto them, and then servicing the target. And it really is just servicing the target. The secret to this aircraft is getting on their opposition, quickly eliminating them, moving on to the next aircraft. It slices, it dices, it makes julienne fries. By God, it's just that quick and easy. Now, I had something to deal with all these. Well, I guess we did hit the. There's our enemy opposition. Just looking for him. As ground attack aircrafts, the Type 96 makes a nice fighter, but not much of a anti-aircraft. It seems like some of our teammates decided to join us. I'm going to guess there's just not a whole heck of a lot left of the rest of our team. We'll use our boost here to see if we can't help our teammate out. We were a little late for that.
Be advised, the enemy is concentrating forces near the airfield.
You unfortunately do have to wait to get past this post and therefore giving the enemy a better chance at hitting us. Don't like that, but what are you going to do? Now we have to rescue an enemy fighter aircraft, and we're finally blown up after, I don't know how many aircraft we shot down, but quite a few. But if you're going to get shot down, it's best that it take place early. And we're ready to go back into battle and try to take our fighter airfield. I find nothing more interesting, more irritating than the field that you were trying to take has been taken by the enemy while you were down. Let's give them a hard time, shall we? So let's run back in here. I have a couple of bombs left now. And we have all sorts of enemy aircraft. And I don't approve. So it's 4 enemy aircraft against me. And what else is new? And I got rammed and taken down just that quickly. Well, when all else fails, ram, right? If there's anything about World of Warplanes I would most like to change, it's the ramming tactic. It's used far too frequently, and it's far too easy to do.
Support. I say again, support will not be available.
So we'll take the Type 91 out one more time, see if we'll have a little bit of better luck, and see if we can't rescue our teammates here. Since we're going to lose, and lose very large if we don't get a move on. Alright. We'll we get at least some help here. At the rate our teammates are losing, I'm not seeing a whole lot of hope for it. This is a very team-oriented game, and it's very, very difficult to turn things around for your team. I thought World of Warships was particularly difficult when carrying a team, but this one seems to be somewhat worse. All we can do is what we can do. One thing I do know is if you get rid of the enemy planes, life gets easier. There's one down. There's two down. There's three down, and we've captured the airfield. There's four down. I believe we still have enemy ground attack aircraft, and there he is.
You've done what you could. Go back to base.
Rather irritating, isn't it? Four badges came in number one, but coming in number one on the defeated side just doesn't feel as good. And we shot down 9 aircraft. Tell you what, let's go back one more time, see if we can't do a little bit better for you and give you an idea. Getting rammed by that aircraft in the middle of the game did not prove to be very helpful to my team or our score here, so we'll give it another try. I wanted to get your ideas, and please comment. My next article or next video is going to be on, I'd actually like to make two, one on possible improvements, and I'm going to depend on you to bring that up as to things that you'd like to see changed. I've already mentioned one, and that will come out again in the next video, because I'd like to see them eliminate the ramming tactic. It did happen, of course, from time to time, but it was never the favorite tactic. Except by, well, both the Germans and the Japanese wanted to use it against American bombers. Excuse me there. And was deployed with limited success. Not easy to ram a aircraft in
Show me what you can do, pilots. Let's roll.
actuality. We're going to do what we should have done in the first place, which is to go ahead and stay with the team. Take out the center sector, and then we'll go after the airfields. Team managed to get chewed up pretty badly last time. I was away and consequently lost all 3 fields, and maybe I could have helped with that. Now you notice I'm not doing a lot of chasing here because I just don't find it to be terribly effective in this aircraft. It's not Not fast enough to really chase things down. You can use the boost to close a little bit of a distance. But it is not good at closing distance at all. It's more of an area defense aircraft than it is a point defense aircraft. It's going to defend an area. It's not really going to go chasing things down. Not particularly good at that. But it is good at getting away from enemy aircraft in a tail chase, which is typically in these battles fatal when somebody gets on your tail. It's very hard to get away from. Not so much here. Now I am going to use boost here. Try to keep this guy in my optimal range. And since this can include all age types, experience level players, I will tell you that one thing to watch out for is when the range marker turns red, it is in optimal range for your weapons. Okay, so we've taken out 3 aircraft, I believe. As was shown in the previous battle, this is a very fragile aircraft. It does not take well to ramming. And I'm firing like an idiot at an aircraft over 2,000 yards. Doesn't work well. And keeping my own aircraft from ramming me is turning out to be something of a difficulty. I'm going to go and see if we can go capture this airfield now, since I really wanted to do that earlier. And you almost feel like you could watch an in-flight movie waiting for this aircraft to arrive. I'm typically 144, 145 miles per hour is its optimal speed, left alone, no boost, no diving. Here we go. Whoever was trying to capture this airfield before didn't do a good job. We'll drop a couple bombs on it, and we'll deal with the aircraft. And we will turn around quickly, since we're virtually certain that we're going to be attacked, and we're very, very low. Since there is no repair point, I do like to respawn aircraft at this point of the game. We took out one of the enemy aircraft. We need to go ahead and finish this up. I notice more of my allies are heading that direction now. So I did something also very stupid. I like to, in this particular aircraft, at this particular tier against robot ships, I do like to solo, and it's the one time I kind of let myself do it. Like I said, I'm not particularly a cowardly player, but I've learned through experience that going in solo against multiple aircraft is almost always a recipe for disaster. With the robo ships, you can get away with it a little more. Managed to take down our opposition, and I see that we have an aircraft below us. One of the things I enjoy about the game, I found the pointer system and the X button to be very helpful. Slow down here. Still not enough. Get some fire on the fellow. And come back around and attack him again. Alright. Find yet another aircraft here. Now we can give ourselves a little space. All these ground attack types are so slow that you spend more time trying to not overrun them than you do fighting them. And here's another aircraft. See if we can get above the smokestacks here. Line the fellow up. Try to save our fellow pilot. And that takes care of that. Go ahead and line up on this fellow. And as I was saying earlier, it gets to be more of a situation of trying to maximize your time on target with the various aircraft. Get out of the way of this fellow. Get the boosters, keep him in range. And this is just about the optimal range for this particular fighter. 800 yards. Put your enemy where you need him to be.
Victory is in sight. Keep it up.
You stop trying to take the other airfield because it's just not necessary. As long as we can keep the 2 points we're winning quite handily. Just need a minute to take this guy down. Gotta get on this next fellow. Finding the rear gunners to be more of a danger than I do the other aircraft right now. And that will end it. But I think we're a very long way to going ahead and finishing up the game at this point. I find racking up very large scores in the Type 91 fighter to be almost ridiculously easy. It does have its weaknesses, mostly overcome by rapidly servicing your targets, taking good awareness of what's behind you, and taking prompt action to turn till you get out of trouble. Very easy aircraft to fly. A very easy aircraft to rack up some major scores with. And you will notice came in number 1 there. 6 badges, Fine Raider badge, the Conqueror, number 1, Breakthrough Multi-Role Fighter, Subjugator, and Effective Fire. This video was run kind of longer than I wanted, but did want to give you a good idea of what I was seeing with the aircraft. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon. Thank you so much. Please like the video if you like what you see, and by all means, subscribe. I'm a new content provider. I can use all the help you can give me. Thank you.